Welcome, dear dreamers, to the Dreamy Tales Universe. Let the world around you fade. Let your breath slow. Let your thoughts drift like feathers on the wind. Tonight, we begin our journey into the oldest stories ever whispered. Tales carved not on stone or scrolls, but in the stars, in dreams, in silence. This is From Chaos to Cosmos, the birth of everything. The very first step in our 30 nights of Greek mythology. So close your eyes, nestle into your pillows, and listen now, as the story begins. Long, long ago, before time ticked its first heartbeat, before the sun had a name, before even the stars dared to shine, there was only chaos. Not chaos like we know it, loud and wild, but a quiet kind of nothingness. A soft, endless space with no shape, no sound, no up, no down. Just the stillness between dreams. Imagine floating in a warm, endless night. No weight, no fear, just breath, in and out, like the universe itself, sleeping. Chaos was the first. Not a god, not a place, but the very space between all things. It was deep, and dark, and peaceful. And yet, even in perfect stillness, something stirred. A whisper in the dark, a shiver in the quiet, the first hint of becoming. And from that whisper came the first beings. Slowly, gently, like mist rising from a morning field, they emerged. First, there was Gaia, the earth, solid, warm, and patient. Then came Tartarus, a shadowy depth, far below, deep as forgotten dreams. Next, the gentle flicker of Eros, the spirit of love, soft, invisible, binding things together, so all things could one day grow. And from the dark folds of chaos came Nyx, the night herself, and her twin, Erebus, the shadow of the underworld. Together, they filled the void with silence and depth, like velvet curtains over the sky. Now, rest here for a moment, dear dreamer. Let the darkness hold you. Let your thoughts slow to stillness. Let yourself drift, like chaos once did. Quiet, full of possibility. If this story is wrapping you in its calm, please take a moment to subscribe to this channel. It helps keep these stories alive, and lets me know you're out there, somewhere in the quiet. Let me know in the comments, where are you listening from tonight? What time do you curl into these tales? As Gaia opened her eyes in the still dark, she felt the vastness around her, and the stillness within her. She was Earth, but she was also alone. So she dreamt. She dreamt of sky, of stars, of arms to wrap around her. And soon, from the dream of Earth, came Uranus, the sky, vast and blue, soft and ever-reaching. He spread himself above Gaia, a dome of stars, a gentle canopy. Together, earth and sky began to hum with life. Their union, the first of many, would shape the world to come. But for now, in this moment, everything was new, and soft, and slow. And Gaia, resting beneath the sky, waited for her children to arrive. The earth had awakened. But the story was only just beginning. For in her still heart, a longing began to grow, a yearning for companionship, for balance, for the sky. And from that longing, the next wonder would soon rise. Southwest, stay close, dear dreamer. Don't drift too far. The tale continues. As the earth calls to the heavens, and the sky answers, let's wander onward, into the next breath of creation. Gaia stretched across the nothingness, cradled in the arms of chaos, with the dream of life resting deep inside her. She breathed softly. Once. Then again. And with each breath, her body grew, not in motion, but in presence. Mountains rose beneath her skin. Caves curled into her belly. Her breath became the wind, and her sigh, the earliest echo of sound. Yet even as she became whole, Gaia felt a longing. A wide, quiet ache for something to keep her company. Not below, but above. And from that silent longing, a presence began to stir. High above, stretching from one edge of infinity to the next, came Uranus, the sky. He did not fall. He did not crash. He simply was. Blue and broad and filled with the shimmer of things yet to be. A sky with no sun, no moon, no stars, not yet, but full of potential, soft and boundless. He drifted above Gaia like a dream floating over another. And when the sky met the earth, they felt whole, balanced. Two parts of the same breath, above and below. Still and watching. They did not speak, there were no words in the beginning. Only closeness. And closeness was enough. From their togetherness, new stirrings began within Gaia, stronger than before. The warmth inside her deepened, rumbled, and reached outward. And then she gave birth. Not to children just yet, but to shapes. To form. To wonder. From her came mountains, rising like great bones through her body. From her came the seas, swirling into the hollows of her skin. Forests crept across her shoulders, and valleys curled like soft blankets along her sides. The sky arched above her, gently watching. Where his breath touched her peaks, the wind was born. Where his silence met her stillness, the stars would soon awaken. Time passed. Though time had no name. Moments unfolded like petals, slow and wide and quiet. And in that quiet, Gaia and Uranus became one. Their bond was not loud, nor was it rushed. It was patient. The way roots wrap around stone, the way the tide waits for the moon. And from that deep, slow love, they created life. Their first children were not small. They were not soft. They were grand. Vast and glowing with the power of the world's bones and blood. They were called the Titans. Born from the union of earth and sky, they were not like the children of today. They were vast, elemental, woven from starlight and stone, strength and silence. Each one shimmered with the raw power of the world itself, forces not yet named, shapes not yet softened by time. There was Oceanus, whose breath smelled of salt and thunder, his body winding like rivers over Gaia's skin. There was Hyperion, bright-eyed and golden, whose gaze was the first suggestion of sunlight. Thea, luminous and quiet, whose presence pulsed with glow and mystery. Mnemosyne, the keeper of memory, though there were so few memories yet to keep. One by one, the Titans arrived, 12 in all, each echoing a part of Gaia and Uranus's vast love. They were mighty, yes, but still gentle then. Young gods wandering the fresh hills of the earth, gazing up at the vastness of the sky, and listening to the deep hum that still throbbed from chaos beyond all things. And Gaia, the mother, was content. For a time. But Uranus, the sky, was not. He looked down at his children and felt unease. Their size, their strength. It stirred something ancient in him. Something older even than love. Fear. He worried that one day, one of them would rise and take from him the sky. Take from him the stars that had not yet formed. So, in secret, he began to push them away. To hide them. To bury them back inside the earth. Back into Gaia. One by one, as each Titan opened their eyes to the world, Uranus cast them downward. He forced them into Gaia's depths, her caves, her belly, her core. Deep within. Out of sight. Out of reach. And Gaia. She endured it. She felt her children pressing against her ribs, clawing for space, for breath. She felt their weight and their sorrow, felt them turning restless in the dark. And she wept. But her tears were silent. They fell as rivers across her skin. They shimmered as mist over forests. But Uranus did not see. Or he would not look. And in that still pain, Gaia did something new. She plotted. From love had come life. And from life, sorrow. And now, from sorrow would come change. She reached down into her deepest roots, down where stone still remembered chaos. There, in the womb of the earth, she shaped a blade, a sickle carved from the bones of mountains, sharp as truth, and curved like the moon. She called out, softly, into the depths of her body, to her buried children. One of you, she whispered, must rise. One of you must free the rest. One of you must bring the sky back down." The Titans heard her. And though many trembled, one stepped forward. He was the youngest, the quietest, but the sharpest of them all. Cronus. He took the sickle, not with anger, but with a quiet resolve, as if he had always known this was his part in the dream. Gaia held him close, whispered her sorrow and her strength into his spirit. And as Uranus floated low over Gaia once more, unaware, unbothered, Cronus waited, still as stone, breath held, heart quiet. The curved blade Gaia had given him rested in his hand, cold as moonlight, and just as silent. Above him, Uranus drifted closer, soft and endless, a sky with no suspicion. No idea that the earth beneath him had changed. He hovered over Gaia, unaware that a new force had awakened, not of love, but of choice. And in that moment, when sky touched earth once more, Cronus struck. He rose from Gaia's depths like a sudden wave, and with one clean, sharp motion, he sliced through the heavens. The sickle moved like a whisper, like a falling star. And in that silent flash, Uranus was cut away from the earth. The sky cried out, not in words, but in soundless thunder. A great tremble swept across Gaia's body. Rocks split. Mountains shifted. Winds wept. And from the wound in Uranus, blood spilled. Not red, but shimmering and silver, falling like stardust across the earth. Where it touched the sea, foam bubbled and danced. From that foam, one day, a goddess of beauty would rise. Where it soaked into the ground, strange beings were born, the Uranese, the giants, the Melii, spirits of ash trees. Dark and ancient, older even than the gods to come. Uranus, weakened, withdrew. He drifted away, past the clouds, past the stars. He did not die, but he would never rule again. The sky still remains, but it is quiet now, thin and watching. A canvas, not a king. Below, Cronus stood tall, the blade still humming with the weight of what had been done. The Titans stirred, one by one. Freed from their prison within Gaia, they blinked at the light, the mountains, the world. They were no longer children. They were rulers. They were gods. And Cronus, the youngest, became the first to wear a crown. But Gaia, gentle Gaia, looked at her son with both pride and sorrow. She had given him power. She had given him choice. But she had also seen what power can become. She remembered the fear in Uranus. She remembered how quickly love can turn to control, and control to cruelty. She whispered into the wind, words that only the mountains heard. "Even you, my son," she said softly, "will fall." The sky was free. The Titans walked the earth. But in the shadows of triumph, a new prophecy began to grow. A promise that the one who had struck the heavens would one day be struck down in turn. Cronus did not hear it. Or perhaps he did, and chose not to listen. He stepped forward, and with a voice like the rustle of thunder through trees, he declared a new age. The age of Titans. And the world, still so new, still breathing slow, held its breath again. And so, a new age began. The age of Titans. Under Cronus, the world shifted into form. Mountains stood taller. Seas grew deeper. The sky stretched wider than before, no longer a master, but a quiet canvas of blue. Cronus ruled not with chaos, but with order. Time began to move more steadily, like the slow ticking of a heartbeat. Seasons came, and seasons passed. And the earth, still warm and watching, grew lush under the rule of the Titan King. The Titans, now free, each found their place. They wandered across Gaia's body, spreading their influence gently, like winds brushing through trees. Oceanus circled the world with his endless waters, the first to carve rivers and lakes into Gaia's skin. Thea, radiant and golden, touched the mists with light, and hints of brightness danced through the clouds. Hyperion searched the skies, carrying with him the seed of the sun. And Mnemosyne, sweet and slow, sat beside a still pool and began to collect memories, every whisper, every ripple in time. She tucked them into the folds of the world, so nothing would be lost. Cronus, high atop the mountains, watched it all. He ruled with strength, but not yet with cruelty. For a while, there was peace. But Gaia, ever wise, ever dreaming, still remembered the sky's fall. She still remembered the pain of being silenced, of bearing children she could not hold. And she watched Cronus with a heavy heart. Not because he was cruel, but because he had tasted power. And power, once tasted, is rarely surrendered without a storm. She looked at her son, the one who had risen with courage, and wondered if he, too, would begin to fear what came next. And, in time, he did. Cronus, like Uranus before him, began to feel unease. A whisper in the wind. A shadow in his sleep. A voice that was not Gaia's. It told him of a child. His own child. One not yet born. Who would rise and cast him down, just as he had cast down the sky. Cronus, afraid, did what fear often demands. He chose control. He took Rhea as his queen, another Titan, soft and wise. She bore him children, Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, Poseidon. But Cronus, desperate to stop the prophecy, swallowed each one whole the moment they were born. Not out of hatred, but out of terror. One by one, his children vanished into his belly. Hidden away, silent and still, trapped in the very place that once held the Titans. And Rhea, heartbroken, watched her children disappear. She wept quietly, cradling empty arms. The earth felt her tears. The winds carried her sorrow. And Gaia, who had once endured the same loss, came to her in secret. She whispered a plan, a chance, a hope. And Rhea, when her sixth child was born, followed Gaia's advice. She wrapped a stone in soft cloth and handed it to Cronus, who swallowed it without looking. And the child, the sixth, was whisked away. He was taken far from the palace, hidden among the roots of Gaia, where trees swayed gently, and stars blinked low in the sky. His name was Zeus. The world did not tremble when he was born. There was no lightning yet, no thunder, just a soft breeze through olive trees, a sleeping goat to feed him, and the hum of prophecy in the air. He would grow. He would rise. But not tonight. Tonight, the earth sleeps. The sky watches. And the Titans rest beneath a world slowly changing. Softly shifting towards something new. The story does not end here. Not even close. This is only the first breath of the myth. The beginning of the dream. The whisper before the storm. So let your mind stay soft. Let the weight of this ancient tale settle around you like a blanket. Let Gaia cradle you. Let Uranus drift above. Let Cronus and Rhea fade into the shadows of sleep. Because next, Zeus will awaken, and the heavens will never be the same. And so, dear dreamer, we close the first chapter in our journey through myth. From the stillness of chaos, to the birth of earth and sky, to the rise of the Titans. We've wandered gently through the very beginning of everything. But the story is far from over. For deep within the earth, a child of prophecy now stirs. And in the nights to come, gods will rise, thrones will fall, and legends will echo through the stars. So if your eyes are heavy, let them close. Let the rhythm of this ancient tale rock you softly into sleep. You are safe here, and the stories will be waiting when you wake. If you enjoyed this night's journey, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel. It helps more dreamy tales reach wandering hearts like yours. And I'd love to know, where are you listening from tonight? Tell me in the comments, what city, what time, what kind of night. These stories come from the timeless wellspring of Greek mythology, tales born along the shores of the Aegean Sea, carried in the winds of ancient temples, and kept alive through whispers, firesides, and now, through dreams. Thank you for traveling this path with me. We'll continue soon. With the next chapter, the Titan Rebellion, Cronus rises and falls. Until then, sleep well, dream deep, and may your night be filled with stars.